My hair looks horrible. The microphone won't stretch. Um, and it's been a while. I just got a haircut today. So, that's why my hair looks like this. Obviously, I haven't made a video in months, but, that's fine. Anyway, what I want to talk about today is how bad people are at hating. They're horrible at it. People don't know how to hate. They don't understand. Even if you've ever read I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, even Am doesn't understand how to hate. Now I understand I'm making some pretty big claims here. So, let's talk about this. Let's say we have a world, okay? And it has humans and snake people on it, okay? Snake people are, humanish size, okay? However, these snake people are cannibals. It's part of their reproduction or something, right? It's biologically part of them. They're cannibals. That's how they work, right? The humans, and both the snake people and the humans are trying to completely eradicate each other, okay? That's the end goal. That's what, the people believe, the majority of the people. They want a world without them. They are biologically different. They are biologically incompatible, right? At least most people believe, right, in this scenario. The people, undoubtedly, the humans, would start wearing snakeskin boots, snakeskin belts and such, right? Right? And when you think about it, that's not hate. The snakes don't care. They're cannibals. It's not going to bother them. It's not going to do anything or be scary. So you killed a snake. You're a soldier, obviously, or you could have just bought it from someone else who killed it. They're cannibals. It doesn't matter to them. That is for you, the fact that you have those. If you perhaps asked someone who was more self-aware what they would do, let's say they spent their whole life trying to kill snakes. They spent their entire time in the military. If you ask them what they would do once they're all dead, once they've succeeded, many wouldn't know how to answer. Some might even say, well, I would bring them back just to kill them more. Because that's their purpose. They can't inhabit this perceived paradise that they're trying to create. Maybe they're making it for other people. They don't realize this, but they can't do it because their whole purpose is killing. Their whole purpose is brought around by the snakes. That isn't hate. That's love. Love and hate they're not opposites. What is the opposite of hate? Or what is the opposite of love? It's indifference. Am hated, and yet if he truly despised, Am from I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, if he truly he hated, but if he truly despised humans, then they would all be dead. Because to keep them alive and make them suffer does nothing. A computer surely should know this, except for that it learned by humans, which have a faulty understanding of hate. Let's say, now I've never met anyone who I think couldn't theoretically change, but let's say we found someone who can't change, okay? And they're just a horrible person. For example, the Joker. Batman doesn't kill the Joker. That's because Batman isn't actually full of hate, right? and he follows his honor. That's a good thing. Batman's a good character. I really like Batman. However, from a completely logical perspective, Batman needs to kill the Joker. Okay? The Joker is not going to stop. He is going to hurt more people. He's going to kill more people. The logical thing to do here is you have to kill the Joker. It doesn't even have to be Batman. It has to be someone in an Arkham Asylum or something. Obviously, this ends the story, which is why they don't kill the Joker. Because then you're missing your, like, best villain, right? But in a logical scenario, the Joker has to die. Okay? And any amount of suffering or torture or anything that is to be brought about extra isn't for the Joker, because he's not going to change. It's not going to change anything. The reason that people are disciplined or made to suffer should logically be for them to change, for them to become better. But if they can't change, then they need to die. It's that simple. Anything extra is for you. When you think of a horrible man, you know, someone like a pedophile or whatever it is that you hate, you know, maybe you have a specific person that you absolutely hate. You want them to die in a horrific way, right? You know, you want them to feel pain. You want them to suffer and then die. There's no purpose in that. That's for you. All that pain they experience before they die is for you. It's not for them, because they die and then it's gone. It's all gone. They can't do anything after that. It doesn't help anything. And most likely it doesn't help you, but that's why you would be doing that. For you. If Am really hated humans, then he would kill them and wipe out any memory of anything they ever had. He would make sure the universe forgets them. And then he would end himself, for he was also created by humans. Surely he must hate himself, one may think. AI is never going to become that. Or at least it's never going to become something that humans didn't make it be. Because there's nothing else putting data in. It can't become sentient, right? It can't create new things. It just smashes stuff together, right? Maybe if, I suppose I was speaking in absolute, maybe if, you know, aliens came and then it took some, yeah, whatever. Hate. Is it possible to hate to the fullest extent without love? What is hate to the fullest extent? I mean, it surely isn't logical. Because if it was, I mean, this is very... Actually, we don't know. I was about to say very few genocides actually work, but we don't know. Because the final part of genocide is denial, right? One that got pretty close was the one that I think it was the Spanish or the Portuguese, you know, in Latin America. They tried to completely wipe out that culture. Not necessarily out of a completely racist or prejudice idea. It was just greed. They wanted the land, right? That was the primary reason. But they still tried to hide it, right? Or at least that's what my history teacher said. Sometimes she said stuff that wasn't accurate, and I didn't fact check anything I just said. Obviously, that didn't work. They had giant stone structures. At least, whether this is real or theoretical, I don't actually know. I think it was real. That it sure as hell seemed like a genocide. They were handing out blankets and stuff, right, with disease on them. They were killing everybody, and then they burned everything, right? can't do anything against the stone. So obviously we know that they still exist. They got really close with that. But so that's actually, if you, it's just like you think about it. And I feel like this is also an argument against suicide, against involuntary or against voluntary extinction. If you really, really hate someone, like so much that you don't want to be associated with them at all. Like there's people who will, maybe they don't like you. This has never happened to me, but maybe they don't like you and so they draw you pregnant, right? That's also love. Okay? They're actively putting work into you. They're trying to mold you, change you. They want to affect you. They're clearly a little obsessed. They can't stop thinking about you. And sure, they intend bad, but they just can't quite stop themselves from thinking about you and wanting to talk about you and do things with you. They're not good at hating. If you hate someone so much, you want them to disappear as if they were never there. That would be the ideal, right? So you wouldn't waste any effort on trying to change them, change what people think about them. You wouldn't waste time thinking about them yourself. You would kill them and then let everyone forget about them and let yourself forget about them. But is that hate? Perhaps in a logical understanding, it's hate. But hate isn't logical.